Welcome back to Inside Workforce Development. I'm Melinda Kelsey. Joining me today is the Commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Agriculture, Jay Templeton. Thank you again so much for being on. And
glad to be here.
Talking about some great things. We are looking at the season of July, August is harvest time, and I'm seeing a lot of farmers markets popped up everywhere, which probably 10 or 15 years ago really didn't have that many. How is that impacting Tennessee's economy?
Oh, it's been a tremendous impact, and you know, so proud of the leadership of the department going several years ago with the P.2 products campaign. We're now in the 30th year, over 2,400 agribusiness ventures that are signed up in that program. We have an app that last year had over 300,000 views on it, marrying up the producer and the consumer. People really want to know where their food comes from, and it's created. You know, we were talking earlier in the show about the opportunities in agriculture relating to the fields of what careers are available, and this is an opportunity for the small farmer, the person who does not have a lot of access to capital, perhaps does not have a lot of land that they can work, but to find a niche crop that they can produce and bring to those farmers markets, or sell direct off the farm through their community associations. So it's increased the value of Tennessee production. It's increased the income for Tennessee farm families.
You hit on a really special point. I think people do want to know where their food comes from.
Right.
If it's locally grown and it's, you know where it comes from. I know we were in Portland. Oh, strawberries.
Yeah.
You know, lots of strawberries. Fantastic. So you're not buying them in the store, and I'm noticing a lot more restaurants in Nashville and across the state are buying products that are locally grown and serving them in their restaurants. Right. And that is a big shift from produced foods, and it's just fresh, it's healthy, and I think that's what a great, you know, match between our eating, our consumption, and then for the farmer as well.
It is. Our marketing division there at the department has been instrumental in the creation of the Farm to Table Alliance, which is just what you described, finding those chefs who are interested in locally grown produce and the farms that can produce them, and getting them together, and been several successful business ventures come forth out of that.
I noticed that when we were in traveling not long ago, and there were people actually coming up from other states and buying products from Tennessee right on the state border because of the quality and I think the quantity that Tennessee has in the agriculture.
And you know, another great thing about that, we were talking earlier as well about people disconnected somewhat from agriculture, fewer than 2%. But when folks will come to that farm, or they'll visit with that farmer at the farmer's market, it's a wonderful time for us in the farming community to educate the consumer about what really goes in to the production of their food. And it's a great exercise for everyone. The consumer learns, the producer learns what the concern is and how to best address it.
I love the point that you all also educate when you have the Ellington Agricultural Center here, which is a beautiful facility, and you bring students in to let them look at what agriculture is all about, because there's science, there's getting your hands dirty, digging in the dirt, but it's also automated, and it's such a variance. It's a good fit for a career opportunity for someone anywhere to be able to start. It's a little challenging, I'm sure, in the beginning.
Well, it is, but you know, in our nation, we need, on average, in food safety, agriculture production, all of those things, roughly 55 to 60,000 people every year to come into it. Our universities, we're only producing about 35,000 degreed people to meet those needs. So there's a lot of opportunity. I mean, it's computer programming, it's genetics, it's animal husbandry. There's so much more involved than just being the farmer, the producer. Food safety inspectors for not only the government but also for industry. A lot of opportunity. We need mechanics in those plants that are not mechanics like I think of being a mechanic. I mean, really clean kind of mechanics. And you know, one of the great ones, I was in a plant in Memphis a few weeks ago, and it was a candy factory, and you know, they're talking about needing employees in the mechanical field that they're starting out around $70,000, but you know, they're having a hard time filling those positions because the people don't have the required education and skill set to do that.
Yeah, we hear that a lot. And I think we're looking at opportunities to bridge that gap and to connect job seekers and potential graduates, or somebody that, again, that just is saying, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to work in a factory. I'm an outside person. I want to work in the field. I want to work on equipment. What a great opportunity for somebody to start and to be outside and to make a dent in our. We have to eat. We are eating. We're consumable. You know, we consume what we eat, and I'd much rather it be from Tennessee.
You know, we all learned in kindergarten, I guess, that three things we have to survive: food, clothing, and shelter.
Absolutely.
And it all comes from the ground, and it's all off the farm. And you know, in so many communities, a real shortage that people are having are sawmill operators. Now, that's still, in many instances, very hard work. But if you've been to a newly tech advanced sawmill, it's laser guided. I mean, you're like sitting in the cab of the space shuttle or something, punching buttons and watching the lasers do all the cuts. It's really fascinating to tour some of these ag and forestry related industries, because I would urge the viewers to do that, because I think they'll be surprised by what they see.
I had no idea that tractors could drive themselves. I'm amazed that I knew cars were doing that, but I had no idea that tractors can do that. They map it out, so they're mapping out where they go.
They're mapping out by grid in the field, and obviously off of satellites and then sensors as well. And
I think you get a really good perspective. We flew in a Black Hawk, and we were flying over some of the farmland, and to see the creativity, the artwork of what these farmers are doing with their crops. It was amazing to see it from the air, other than just a regular airplane. But when you're flying right over the top of it,
the roads are straight, aren't they?
The roads are straight, yes, sir. Better than our highways are, sometimes.
That's right.
But let's talk about your inspecting. I know you all go out and you do farm inspectors. So are you in need of farm inspectors as far as to go out and to help bridge that gap as well?
You know, believe it or not, in certain regions we do have difficulty finding qualified people to serve as inspectors in our pesticide division, fertilizer, seed, weights and measures there at the Department of Agriculture. We have a consumer and industry services division, and one of the things we try to do on the inspection level, obviously by statute we have a responsibility to do certain things, but we really want to encourage small businesses, the moms and pops. Maybe their grandmother had a tremendous coconut cake recipe, I don't know. We want you to produce that, and we want you to sell it to your neighbors. We want you to do it the right way from a food safety perspective, but we're about education as much as we are about regulation at the Department of Agriculture.
Okay, all right. Hold your thought. We'll be right back right after this.
Behind every Pick Tennessee Products logo is a real Tennessee farmer. Pick Tennessee Products has helped people find those local farmers, foods, and fun for 30 years. Find your Tennessee farmers, farmers markets, and farm direct foods today with Pick Tennessee. Pick Tennessee Products has helped people find local farmers, foods, and fun for 30 years. Find your farmers today at Pick Tennessee.